The think tank, thank you for a very spirited debate last hour, all of the texts and calls that came in. This hour, we're going to talk about millennials. Millennials are described as anyone born between 1981 and 1996. And we're thinking about what's called job hopping along this millennial generation. The statistics are now saying that the average worker today changes jobs 11 times between the age of 18 and 45. This means millennials will make these changes either voluntarily or involuntarily. They will jump in and out of crowded pools of job seekers. The average time spent in a job is 2 years, which causes major problems for employers due to the expense of recruiting, hiring, and job training. More than ever, millennials say they're craving a better work-life balance. So how do you keep the workforce of millennials? That's what we're thinking about. Joining us to discuss this is Ken Davidson. He's the Principal Director of Client Development at Eagle Independent Insurance Agency. Ken, thanks for being with us this morning.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Ken, if you would, tell us your position with Eagle Independent Insurance Agency. Is it your job to do the hiring, firing, and also the keeping employees happy so they stay with you a while?
All of the above. I'm one of the owners of the agency. I've got two partners, and yes, so I'm trying to recruit people, trying to keep them happy, and unfortunately, sometimes you have to let people go. So I kind of do it all.
This notion of millennials and the job, their outlook, their philosophy on careers, and actually what the statistics are showing now, you're dealing with this, obviously. Would you consider your firm millennial friendly, that you actually recruit them and look for these folks?
We absolutely do. I'm going to say that, we're a small business, 20-plus employees, and of that, I'm going to say at least close to 40% are millennials, and we're trying to actually recruit more. They've worked out so well for us, actually, that we've actually created a whole new program geared around just recruiting millennials to, jump into the insurance industry and write insurance business and kind of get a long-term career. And we've got the path set up for them. So they've been very good with us, and it's been pretty successful.
Well, in any business, a high turnover rate is very expensive because, as you mentioned, you got to recruit, you got to do the hiring, the training, and that goes into it. And then if they walk out the door on you, all that's lost, and you start all over again. What are some of the challenges that you found in dealing with millennials as maybe in the past?
Well, I think one thing is trying to actually identify, exactly who you want to hire and who's going to be, a good fit inside, in your culture. Once we generally get people hired on board, millennials including also, they do tend to stick around. But, it is different. They are, a different generation, just like I'm a Gen X guy, than before us, the baby boomers and everything else. But it's all about culture and really just trying to identify, what the millennials want, how they can fit into your business, and kind of, customizing your business or developing a plan so that they can not only be successful, but they can be challenged, but they can also, be afforded kind of a good work, life balance, balancing their day-to-day job with their social life, because millennials are very social.
I tell you, it's all new to me. I mean, I spent my first job, other than temporary part-time employment when I was going to school and things. I mean, I spent 15 years on my first job, 2 years on the next job, and I've been in this job for 30 years. That's it, 3 of them in this long work history that I've had. So when I see things where people change jobs 11 times between 18 and 45, it's just, wow, why do you do that? What is it they're looking for? Is this a different philosophy on a career where everybody used to look for, maybe the pay wasn't so great, but I had job security and the benefits were good? Is that some of the things they're still looking for? I talk to millennials, and I kind of think that they've got a really good outlook, that they want to live a good life, and the money things really doesn't mean that much to them.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, back in, the 80s and, 90s, et cetera, people wanted to get out. They wanted to go to Wall Street. They wanted to make that $1 million, and it was me, me, me. The millennial generation is completely different. They want to be able to, grow themselves. They do want to be challenged. They want to have a successful, a long-term career. But that also includes being able to, again, like I said, enjoy their social life, and also contribute to causes. You're going to see a lot of millennials taking jobs that are doing good for the environment, doing good for the people, and they may take a job with less pay to be able to, check those things off of the list.
Does that, along with that job philosophy, does it come maybe shirking responsibility, not being as reliable as old-time employees, a little bit more freedom or independence, and not maybe being as responsible to their work ethic as their previous generation?
No, I don't see that. And I've read some articles, of course, on the millennials. I know a lot about the generation. They're the future. So for those businesses out there that aren't really embracing them, they're going to have a problem down the road. I mean, they're the largest number of employees out there in the workforce is this millennial generation. If it's not now, it's going to be within the next year or so. But I think they're responsible. Going back to what you said earlier, or were asking, if they may get out of college or they may just go straight into the workforce, but they're probably trying to, like any other generation, trying to figure out who they are, what they want to do. And the other thing to think about is sometimes job hopping really isn't a bad thing. Maybe they're jumping upwards. They're jumping upwards so that they're elevating their career. I think you're seeing a lot of this talk about the job hopping because there's just so many of them in the workforce. They outnumber everyone else. So obviously you're going to see, it's the law of large numbers.
Very good. Ken, stay with me. We're going to take a quick break. We come back. I'm getting some text in. I'll also check on our Peretti opinion poll question. And we've got a millennial. Luke wants to join the conversation. You can do that at 504-260-1870. We'll be right back. It's the Think Tank on WWL. All right, we're thinking about millennials in the workforce, new attitudes. Certainly the research shows that job changes occur much more frequently. The average millennial now switches jobs every 2 years, and that means that every 24 months or so, he or she will jump back into a crowded pool of job seekers. We're talking with Ken Davidson. He's the Principal Director of Client Development at Eagle Independent Insurance Agency. Got a lot of interesting text in, which I'll hopefully get to in a moment. But let me get to Luke, because he's been hanging on for a while on his cell phone. He wants to join the conversation. Luke, do you classify yourself as a millennial?
Well, yeah, I'm 88, so that's state class finally. But, yeah, man, I've been through far more than 11 jobs since college. I think part of it is just fear of long-term security for the economy. My biggest fear would be that I worked for my whole life, and then you get to retirement and you don't have the stability because of maybe the dollar or because of different economic reasons. So therefore, I don't know that I invest as much in what you get from a job as far as financial reward as much as do I enjoy the job and how much time off would I have, because I see my time as more valuable than the money,
And do you find that most of your cohorts agree with you on that? That they would...
most people, I got lucky. I got in the corporate world, and I kind of I worked sales. I know the last guy was sharp. I bet he sells good, but
he's still there. That's
like
a compliment for you, Ken.
I appreciate it.
It's true, but I did sales and did very, very well, and kind of, I can only speak for myself, but yeah, if I look at my generation, I think most of them don't have the access or maybe ability or opportunity for a six-figure job. So, but things have changed in America. My grandfather was a taxi cab driver and bought a house. 2 taxi cab drivers married couldn't pay rent right now. So that's part of the reason. I think it's more to do with the overall state of economics than it is with it's a cause and effect more so than it is the millennials being lazy. If so, it's a calculated laziness based on kind of a collective conscious and what they predict in the long-term future.
Well, Luke, this is for all prospective employers who may be looking to interview millennials for a job. What is the biggest turnoff when you go in for a job interview that what will immediately just turn you around and head for the door?
What you're getting at is what do people want? And they want loyalty. I've walked out of a job that paid extremely well, but they didn't actually care. So they don't want the rich parent that doesn't love them, in a sense. They'd rather have loyalty. And I'm not talking outings. I'm talking like a management's respect. It's more important to be talked to with respect than anything. So that's what I would look for. And also, micromanagement would probably be the biggest problem for your business, because if you're micromanaging, you're going to push these people out the door, let them work at their own pace. And you'll find that if somebody's working at their own pace, they're probably going to maximize more output than a forced pace, so to speak, by the business. You know.
Ken, having heard Luke's outlook on job seeking, what would you be your offer to him? What would you say to him if you were interviewing him to hire him? What would you think
Luke,
would
I was going to say, first of all, Luke, you want a job, you want to have a fun career, because we can do it. I think he hit the nail on the head. We provide our employees, lots of fun, kind of a cool environment. It's all about culture. I think long gone, depending on the industry you're in. We don't wear, suits. We do when we need to, when we have big meetings, et cetera. But, we're selling auto and home insurance out, pressing the flesh, and just being social with it. I mean, we have in all my different offices, we have a big kitchen stocked with all kinds of fun, great food. We have a lot of breaks where we have tons of incentives that we do, whether it's monetary. My office here in Dallas right now, Texas, we're all ordering just big old bowls of Chinese food for lunch. We do outings. And we give people considerable time off. There's a lot of autonomy that we provide to our employees, and we don't really call them employees. We have really a horizontal hierarchy, if you will. Now, of course, maybe I'm the owner, but at the end of the day, we're all equal. It's a team environment. It's fun. Get out there, make a sale, move on to the next one, and have fun doing it. If you're not smiling and having fun, you're spending 75% of your life at your job. Man, you got to move on, and maybe that's what some of these millennials are doing. I mean, we got to hire the right people in the right position and let them just run with it. And micromanaging just doesn't cut it in my business.
Luke, sounds like the kind of place you might want to go to work.
Well, right now I'm kind of doing the blue-collar thing, but, yeah, I mean, eventually at some point you wonder, do you look for pay increases for that longevity? I tell you what, man, it's a sharp dude, though, listening to him. Certainly somebody, worth learning from and exploring that. But, I'm also on the radio, so I don't want to get blasted by my current employer if they're sitting there listening on the radio, too,
Luke, thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Hey, what's the name of the business, Ken?
Yeah, it's we're Eagle Independent Insurance Agency. You can check out we have developed a new licensed client advisor program that basically takes down the barriers to entry for anyone, whether you are a millennial or a stay-at-home mom, to come enter the insurance world. We offer all the backroom support, and all you got to do is go out there on your Facebook, et cetera, and market out, home and auto insurance products with all of our multiple insurance carriers we represent. So check out www.eagleinsured.com.
Well, you're a sharp guy, man. Y'all make sure you have a good day today. I appreciate y'all spending some time with me.
All right.
Hey,
nice
Luke,
talking with you.
Thanks for your contribution. That laid-back type atmosphere you spoke of, do you find that that's really what most millennials are looking for now? They don't want to come in and be given, okay, you got to make X amount of phone calls, you got to make X amount of personal visits, need you to come in here and punch this clock in and then be back later before you punch out? Or is it work at home, take your own pace, give me the results, and we got a good deal?
Yeah, I think what you just said is correct. I mean, you got to let people, whether they're millennials or Generation X, baby boomers, let them spread their wings. Let them figure out what they're good at, have fun doing it, and get out there and do it. And if you don't have to micromanage people, then you got the right people in the right spots. You can always have great people; they just may be in the wrong position or the wrong career.
All right, let's get David in. He's listening to us in St. Bernard. David, thanks for your call. You're on with Ken Davidson.
Yeah, hold on. Hey, buddy. Hey,
Hey.
can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, go ahead, David.
Look, a lot of older people, I hear them say this a lot. The 40 and 30-year jobs are over with. You don't get a gold watch. How many times did I hear that on WWL? So the kids, maybe they don't feel comfortable about staying because they think in the long term they're not going to have a job. And I think I might have heard you say that, Tommy.
Well, this is not Tommy. This is Don.
Oh,
Tommy might have
man.
said it right. David, are you a millennial?
No way, man.
So
no
you,
way.
so you're
I love. Go ahead.
you're an older guy.
Yeah.
And so what do you
Diamond.
think? So what do you think about the millennial philosophy, where they're ready to change jobs? Like you might change underwear, but they may be moving upward, and they want a relaxed atmosphere. What's wrong with that attitude?
Well, I don't think. I think they're part of the entitlement philosophy. You know, I want.
Oh, I don't know about that. Ken, what do you say? Are they an
Awesome.
entitlement? Do you find them as entitlement philosophy, the millennials?
Well, that's not the first time I've heard someone say that they thought they were. I think the main thing you got to realize is this generation has grown up in such a quick, fast, technological, savvy era, and so they are used to fast. They're used to change, and that could be something, maybe in the the back of their mind that they like to move, move, move. I mean, when am I going to get the latest iPhone? When is this new technology thing going to come out? And it's always like change is coming, it's coming, and so that could be why some of them think, well, okay, I've been here a year, I got to get something different, I got to get something fresh. So there's probably something to be said about that. But at the end of the day, the millennials aren't really, I don't think, job hopping as much as any other probably generation. But they want to do well. They want to have fun with what they're doing. But I've seen that they are so quick, and I mean, I don't know the last time you looked at a millennial, even a 10-year-old these days on their computers or their smartphones and everything else. They can get more work done, I believe, in 6 hours than most other generations can probably do today in about 8 or 9 hours. They are fast, and they're smart, and their computer technology is incredible. They are savvy.
Well, try a 5-year-old granddaughter, Ken. I've seen her at work.
I'm telling you, I got a 9-year-old daughter, and she's the one that helps me on my Mac, on my iPhone, whatever. I mean, it'll blow your mind.
All right, thanks for the call, David. Ken, stay with me. We'll be right back and after the news. All right, and you can call us at 504-260-1870. Today we're thinking about millennials and their outlook on careers and the job hopping. Millennials are defined as anyone born between 1981 and 96. They're looking at a job market much, much different than their parents. They're more mobile, they're competitive. It also they have a different philosophy on what they want from a job in terms of time off, free time, reward versus economics. So what do you think about it? We invite your calls. Ken Davidson is with us. He is the Principal Director of Client Development at Eagle Independent Insurance Agency. And Ken, I got a lot of text in here. I want to read these to you, and you can comment on them. I'll give a little bit of commentary on some of the ones I think might need it.
Okay.
This one says, all the millennials that are moving to New Orleans, Louisiana are morons. Well, as a customer service manager, I'm going to say, I'm sorry you had that experience with one of our people, but I'm sure it was a rare occasion, and hopefully you will not have that experience again. Another one says, millennials have no work ethics. Another says, I won't hire a person that has multiple jobs in a short period of time. Another one is curious about how old you are, Ken, talking about millennials. Another one says millennials hop around in order to figure out who they want to be. True purpose in life, money doesn't always matter. Another says work-life balance needs to be understood by employers. The older guys tell me I'm crazy for going home and not taking overtime, but I'd rather have the free time. It also helps to have a flexible schedule, where as long as I get my hours, it doesn't matter what time I come in or leave. Another says, I need a job and I'm qualified for Eagle Insurance. Where can I send my resume? Yeah, we'll get that one in. Another one says, started working Tuesday after I graduated high school in 1984. Been at the same job ever since, 31 years in counting. I am truly a dying breed. Another says, I have my own business and I can't hire people with visible tattoos, body piercing, or outrageous hairstyles. And I've got a lot more, but I think that's enough to chew on for a while. Ken, your comments and thoughts on any of those?
Okay, I am 44 years of age to begin with, and the resume can be sent to kdavidson@eagleinsured.com. I guess one thing that I'll tackle real quick is job hopping. Yeah, honestly, I don't care what generation you're from. I mean, that's kind of a sign that if you look at someone that's had 11 jobs in the last 2 years, I mean, it's I got to look at the numbers there. I mean, are they really going to stick around? Maybe it'll be a perfect fit, but I've been in the business for 17 years, and that's one of the first things I look at. Why are they moving around, particularly if they're lateral moves. And then the other comment about the the tattoos and the earrings and everything else, it obviously depends on what kind of business you're in, and is it a professional environment? I mean, you may have to wear a three-piece suit or a nice sharp dress or whatever it is to work. But, in our business, we know we're professional, But then again, you have clients that in many businesses that if you come in wearing a three-piece, black suit, they may think, here comes the IRS, I'm in trouble type deal. So we try to dress and get on the same level as the clients that we're dealing with, and try not to make them, uncomfortable, et cetera. But there still has to be structure. Don't get me wrong; it's not a free-for-all. Everybody's, bouncing tennis balls and racquetballs, off the walls and wearing shorts and flip-flops and all that. I mean, yeah, if the job requires that, if it's an 8-to-5 job, then someone that likes structure and needs to have that, great, go take that job. If it's a lot of autonomy, that basically you're going to make as much money or be rewarded by how much productivity you can bring to the company, then great. I have with this new licensed client advisor program, you can work 3 hours a day, you can work 30 hours in 2 days if you want to. It's all about doing it right, and working smarter. Like they've always said, work smarter, not harder. And then go out and have fun. Yeah, I would think that if there has to be a sense of responsibility, and people may not want to work overtime. I can tell you millennials aren't going to like, and they don't like probably punching clocks. So this whole thing about, working overtime, well, if you've got something to do or you're going to make a sale, you're going to make that sale on a Saturday at a barbecue, or maybe you have to take home a little bit of work to close a deal. I expect that to happen, but then I'm looking for millennials or any other people that join our team to have that kind of responsibility and an entrepreneurial spirit, and, let's close some deals.
Ken, one of the recurring text messages I keep getting in is this aversion from employers who say, I won't hire people, I won't even interview people who have a recent history of a lot of job changes. But if this trend continues, they're going to be dealing with that more and more. How do you work on this catch-22? I mean, people, they're going to change jobs. It's just a fact of life and the way that the job opportunities are out there. But at the same time, you're looking for somebody who's going to give you some stability. How do you handle that?
Yeah, what I do is I kind of go back history, and it's like a question even that I always ask. And when I do a little bit of mergers and acquisitions and with other insurance agencies. But the first question I always ask to a seller or to an employee is, what do you want? What do you want to do? What do you want out of this thing? And then I try to identify, okay, check, okay, they want this, they'd like to do this, they'd like to do that. Maybe in the past they got a job out of college. I can understand that. They got to get some income, they got to start making some money. Maybe they, worked for a tyrant that was a boss, and that didn't make sense. So I will pick apart and find out exactly why they possibly left their former job if they were fired. The main thing is to get references, whether they're personal references, business references, and just try to get know their character. Because maybe they move around 6 times in the last couple years, but maybe you are the golden egg, and they're going to be with you forever. Because there are studies out there that millennials are very loyal to their employers. And back what Luke was saying is, they want to be, they don't need to be, stroked all the time, you're doing a great job, but they want to feel like they're adding something to the business, that they're, helping part of the greater good. And they do want to be, rewarded, whether it's, hey, a slap on the back, great job, John, you really crushed that one, or, here's a bonus, or things like that. So it's people, it's people working with people, and you got to figure out what makes everybody tick and who's going to get along, and make it happen.
All right. Are you a millennial? If you are, give us a call and tell us your outlook on career opportunities. And if you are an employer who interviews and responsible for hiring and keeping millennials, would love to hear from you. 504-260-1870. I've also got a lot of text messages coming in with some revelations about millennials and some opinions also. We'll be back with Ken Davidson. You're listening to The Think Tank on WWL. And how'd you like to earn an extra $1,000 for the holidays? WWL wants to put $1,000 in your pocket for your Halloween party, Thanksgiving dinner, or Christmas presents. And you can win by sending one text in a nationwide holiday cash contest that starts next week. And you can get a heads up every time a new secret code word is given. Just join our Cash Club now by texting CASH to 870-870. Come on, can't you use an extra $1,000 cash? Win holiday cash starting next week from Smart Radio, Intercom, and WWL. We never charge for text, but individual plan text and data rates apply. And please don't text and drive. And while talking about text, we're thinking today about millennials and their outlook on employment. Ken Davidson, the Principal Director of Client Development at Eagle Independent Insurance Agency, who it's his job to recruit, hire, and train and hold on to millennial employees, has been with us. And Ken, I got to tell you, the text really applies to the millennials. They love it. I get many more text and phone calls from millennials, so they appreciate the technology of being able to text and coming in the studio. And I've got a lot of those, which we'll get to in a second. But first, let's bring Lane into the conversation. He's here in New Orleans listening to us. Lane, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, Lane. Go ahead.
How you doing today?
I guess you get that all the time, huh?
Yeah.
It's one of those names you don't know. It could be even.
Yeah, it's actually Oing, but it's okay.
I'll make a note of that.
Sure. Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment about the millennials. I was born in '88. I am 27. Been in a management position since I was about 21 in the restaurant industry. First generation American. My parents are both Vietnamese. So just the whole comment you've made about the work ethic, I've noticed from my experience and the type of people I have to interview and look, like when I look at an application, some of them, the millennials, are so proud that they've had 8 jobs in the last year, because I think that shows experience, which on the other hand, for me, the longer, I think I'm a little, I prefer experience, obviously. I feel like they don't understand that. And like you guys made comments earlier about the whole text messaging thing also. I've made plenty of phone calls. People put in applications all the time. I make phone calls, and then no one picks up. I leave a voicemail. No one answers it. I leave emails. No one responds. But as soon as I text message them, I get an immediate response. They're willing to meet me anytime, any day for an interview, and it's just amazing how that actually works out.
What kind of business are you in?
Restaurant.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ken, you found that too, that texting seems to be the way to get the reaction from and communicate with the millennials?
Well, yes, and I'll tell you one thing, that you have to be careful, because you could walk around an office and they've got their their phone down in their lap and they're texting and they're pretending to be looking at their computer screen. So yeah, texting is very fast. But we have more, our clients, we write all types of, home and auto insurance for all types of people. And economic status, et cetera. But even some of the older generation people are responding quicker from texting as well. Being in the insurance business, don't text and drive. Got to throw that out there.
I do it every day.
Yeah, so do I. I know it's horrible.
Gwen, thank you for your call. We appreciate it.
All right, not a problem. Thank you.
All right, I got some more texts coming in here, and get you to comment on these. Ken, this one says... Let's see, let me get to the beginning of it here. Millennials saw an ugly side of corporate America. We couldn't find jobs after graduating college because of the Great Recession. We saw mass layoffs while corporate execs brought home outrageous bonuses. This was our entry into the workforce. We saw firsthand that many employers have no loyalty to staff, so we lack loyalty to employers. We're a realistic generation. So I guess with that kind of an outlook on the job market out there, no wonder they've got the attitude that they do.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, they were hit really hard by the recession, the ones that are just, have been, from 2008, I guess, on and entering into, in the workforce. I think that, that's why I go back to saying I think they're really, it's not me, I. I think it's more of they do have some kind of, gut, feeling that maybe I want to be more of an entrepreneur, be the captain of my own ship, direct my own future. And if they can't do that, they tend to jump into a business with a company that kind of sees that maybe that's how the owner of the business started. And that's the kind of path I think that they want to follow.
Ken, you've given us some good suggestions for potential employers who are interviewing millennials, but I'm going to give you an opportunity here. Talk to the millennials. Tell them what it is you'd like to see more of from them when they come into your office, and give them a little bit of advice.
Basically, be excited about the world, be excited about the future. Know that what you're going to be doing, 5 days a week or 4 days a week or whatever it is going to be something that you want to do, that you're going to be successful at it, and something that you're going to be able to, provide for your family from, and have a good time while you're doing it. I mean, listen, there's like 30% of the population are millennials. It's a great generation. Figure out what you want to do and go after it.
Very good. Ken, thanks so much for spending the time with us. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate it, everybody. Have a good weekend.
You do the same. Ken Davidson, the Principal Director of Client Development at Eagle Independent Insurance Agency. Back with more right after this.